Hi, I'm Peter Bobkowski from the Data Literacy Lab, and in this video I will explain how I created the two interactive data visualizations about alpacas in the United States. There's a link to these visualizations in this video's description. The steps I describe include three components of our data literacy model: accessing secondary data using the Census of Agriculture, organizing and calculating data using Microsoft Excel, and communicating data using Tableau. First, access. My alpaca data came from the Census of Agriculture, which is a U.S. Department of Agriculture project. I get to the Census of Agriculture from Google. This website contains all sorts of reports from the latest 2017 census and from earlier censuses as well. I'm not interested in ready-made reports, but instead I want to put together my own report, so under Census Data Query Tool, I click on Quick Stats. This brings me to a window with a bunch of dialog boxes, which I use to specify what data I want to use. To get my alpaca data, I select the following options: Census, Animals and Products, Specialty, because alpacas are classified as specialty livestock, Alpacas, Inventory, Alpacas Inventory, Total, State. I want to see all the states, so I don't select any, and I want this information for the last two censuses, so 2012 and 2017. Notice that after I select some of the fields, other fields update automatically. If you're playing with this data, it may be worth selecting some of the fields and waiting for them to update to see what other options might be available. I click Get Data to generate my data set on the next screen. Then I want to download this data, so I press Spreadsheet and save it to my computer. I can then open the data in Excel or another spreadsheet program. This brings me to the second element of our data literacy model: transforming and calculating data. My goal is to put together a spreadsheet that I can easily use to visualize this data. Right now, there are a number of columns in this spreadsheet that I do not need, so the first thing I do is delete unnecessary columns. I don't need census because it's the same in every case. I do need year, so I leave that. I delete period, week ending, and geo level. I leave the state column. I delete the next 13 columns because they're either empty or contain the same value in all cases. And I leave the value column and delete the last column. So I'm left with a much cleaner data set that consists of only three columns: year, state, and value. We see, for example, that in 2017 in Alabama there were 627 alpacas. A key transformation I want to make is for each state to appear only once in the spreadsheet in its own line, and for all of the numbers for that state to appear on the same line. Right now, each state appears in two lines, once for 2017 and once for 2012. So what I want to do is move all of the 2012 data next to the 2017 data. I highlight, right-click, and cut and paste next to the 2012 data, making sure that the states align. I relabel the value columns with the year and alpacas, and delete the additional year and state columns. Now, in addition to showing how many animals there are in each state, I want to show how each state's population changed between 2012 and 2017. So I need to calculate percent change. I do this by first creating a formula that calculates the difference between 2012 and 2017. In a new column, the formula is simply equal sign 2017 alpacas minus 2012 alpacas. So this says that Alabama lost 301 alpacas between 2012 and 2017. I can easily populate the rest of this column by double-clicking the bottom right corner of the formula cell. To calculate percent change, I type equal, select the difference value, type the divide sign, which is a slash, and then select the 2012 value. To get an actual percent, I add times 100 to my formula. To get rid of some of the decimals, I add the round function to the beginning of the formula. So type round, open parentheses, leave my formula as is, type a comma, and then specify the number of decimal places I want Excel to display. Let's say 2, and then close the parentheses. So now I see that between 2012 and 2017, the population of alpacas in Alabama dropped 32.44%. Let me populate the rest of the column. When I save my file, I want to make sure that I save it as an Excel spreadsheet. Once that's done, I'm ready for the third phase of the data literacy model, which is communicating data. I start in Tableau Desktop by connecting to Microsoft Excel and finding my alpaca file. I select sheet 1 and call it Alpacas 2017. I take the state and drag it into the left drop field here column. This populates all of the states from my spreadsheet. I then take Alpaca's 2017 and drag it into the column with all the ABCs. To display this visually, I will go up to the Show Me button and select the second map option. Now, because I have Alaska and Hawaii in the list, most of the states on the map are quite small. I can exclude these two states and only display the contiguous US states. I go back to the table display, right-click on Alaska and exclude, right-click on Hawaii and exclude, and go back to the map display. I'm not crazy about the information displayed in the pop-up balloon when I hover over each state, so I will edit this by clicking Tooltip and changing Alpaca's in 2017 to total, and then highlighting all this text and increasing its font size. To prepare the visualization for displaying online, I'm going to put it into a dashboard. So I create a new dashboard and drag the Alpaca's 2017 sheet into it. I move the legend from the right side to below the map and make it larger. I right-click and uncheck Show Title. I right-click and Format Legends. I change the shading to white. Then edit the body font and change the font size to 12 bold. I also change the border color to black. I right-click again and edit colors. I select the first blue color scheme, and then also specify the starting number being 0 and the ending number being slightly higher than the highest number, so 11,000. I can also change the title of the visualization to something more informative like Number of Alpacas per State 2017. The last thing I do here is hide the toolbar. I follow the same steps to visualize the other map, the percent change for alpacas between 2012 and 2017. The main difference between these two visualizations are the colors I use. I use a red to green range for the percent change so that I can easily communicate negative and positive population changes. To embed a Tableau visualization in a web page, I have to publish each of the visualizations in Tableau Public. From Tableau Desktop, I first extract my data, then publish to Tableau Public. Then generate an embed code from Tableau Public. Good luck with your own data visualizations, and please share your ideas and questions with us at datalitlab.xyz.